All right, 6:02 in the Rose City. Time for Sprague on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan and the Fan Sports Network. Hello, happy Thursday, everybody. Good morning.
What is happening?
How we doing? How we feeling?
Doing fantastic. Feeling great.
Yeah.
Ready for a delightful little Thursday radio show.
Indeed.
I did get shited yesterday. I had to check protocol here.
You got what?
Shited. Is that a word? Is that correct? Pronunciation, producer? You got anything for me?
Is that a curse? Are you trying to say the S word?
No, I'm not.
You mean chided?
Chided? Is it chided or shited?
I think it's chided.
Chided?
Like
like a chia pet? I have to be stronger in my CH?
Like you were spoken down to? You were
Yeah,
chided?
yeah, that's what I was looking for.
That is chia pet. CH.
Okay. All right, I'll take your word for it. I think either one could work, but let me know.
I think the texters will correct you on
Yeah,
that.
it's
sure that
chided.
they
It's
will.
not just me.
It's chided.
Chided.
Yeah.
Hard CH? Is that what you're telling me?
That one
Hard.
happens.
Hard CH.
Hard.
You can't come out with a possible swear word 4
That
seconds.
wasn't
I know,
anywhere
dude,
close to
bro.
a swear
Yeah,
word.
me and
That's
Chelsea
not
were like,
even
"What
in
did
the.
you do?"
That's not in the ballpark, dude. Dude, so and maybe I'm inferring tone here that wasn't actually there, but I will tell you what happened. So Teddy Ballgame's allergic to peanuts, which is not fun to deal with. But like once a year, we have to take him in to get tested, and it's always like, yeah, he's still allergic. Cool. Glad I had to spend $200 for that. But they give him a prick, and you got to wait in a room for like 20 minutes, and all right. Jesus, you two.
gotta choose better
We're
words.
just
They
off to a
prick
great
his back. That's what they do. They put it in a little vial, and you prick him in the back.
They
and
pull a sample. Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
They don't pull a
Sting with a
sample.
needle.
They don't. It's not even a needle. It's a prick. That's what they do.
Still a needle.
Okay? Not really. Small needle.
There you go.
So he gets the prick, and we're standing in there. We have to wait around for like 20 minutes, but you always know like 4 minutes in, you look at his back, and it's like, all right, still allergic, but I got to wait another 15 minutes.
Yeah.
They put me in like a 5x5 room to stand with him. Wife's working, so it's just me and him. And we got to sit in there for 20 minutes. And he can't touch anything because there's like vials of different things and refrigerators. So it's like he can't just roam freely, right? So I'm looking for ways to entertain him for 15 minutes. And I look over on the wall and I see 2 boxes of rubber doctor gloves. Okay?
Did you
Does
blow
any-
up a chicken?
Does any parent, where does your mind go? Immediately, oh, this'll kill 10 minutes right here. I grab a glove. You're damn right I blew up a chicken, and I tied it off. And you know what killed 15 minutes of waiting in that room?
The glove chicken.
Him bopping it around, tossing it up in
yeah.
the air. It's falling down to the ground.
Yep.
I'm like, yeah, it's a rubber glove. This is perfect. This will only entertain a 2-year-old. We get done with the appointment, and I'm leaving, and the doctor makes kind of a snidey comment. Well, you can take that glove, I guess, as I'm leaving the room. And I think to myself, like, first off, you put me in a 5x5 cell here.
So you
okay?
heard the way he said that.
The
is
way
you
he said
heard it in a very
like, how dare you?
Don't
you think
touch
you
our
can
gloves.
you can take our gloves? You think you can touch our gloves?
Did you say anything back?
No, I didn't say anything back. Wanted to say thanks for telling me what I already needed to know and the $200 fee that it took to find out what I already needed to know. Thank you, healthcare system. I'm glad I have insurance that doesn't cover this. This is fantastic. And yeah, I got a little upset by that. I was chided by the doctor for taking a rubber glove, which costs, what are we talking, 4 cents to make, 2 cents to make, a penny to make? That thing can't cost much. A box of gloves is like $5. There was another 100 gloves in there. I didn't take the last one out, and I was a little offended by that yesterday.
So, okay. So it's about 10 minutes you said you had to kill? 15? What'd you say?
It was like you have to wait 17 minutes
17
from the
minutes
time of the
for the
prick
result,
to
right?
the end when they can officially test. But it was very obvious 2 minutes in, the thing starts to swell up, and you're like, yeah, still, it sucks, but, it's pretty obvious.
I'm just kind of curious. Having been in a doctor's waiting room situation.
Yeah.
I don't know about 5x5, but being in a waiting room.
Hotter than hell in there, too. I had to take my jacket off. I was sweating my balls off.
At the time where we were in our lives,
Yeah.
I didn't go to most of those appointments. My wife did, which
Sure.
was not good for my marriage. I should have taken work off more.
Depends on the timing of
Right?
it, right? Yeah, we used to be in a different slot. Now, for me, it's like I had to leave. I had to get home. It was 10:45. We barely made it in time.
Having been in that room, though, I'm kind of curious why you felt you grabbed stuff. Why not just like, I don't know, do a finger puppet show?
Is this against protocol?
No,
Is this a faux pas? Are you taking the doctor's side?
no,
Are you chiding me right
I'm
now?
not
Dirt, it's
I
that
feel
or
like-
the tongue depressor, right?
Yeah, it's either that or I'm grabbing the popsicle stick and
What
being
about
like, let's
the-
bang this around like a drumstick. Like, give me something here to
What
work
about
with.
like the little light telescope thing that's stuck.
They
to
didn't
the
have
wall.
one. It wasn't like a normal room. That was the other thing. Like it wasn't a normal.
She just had gloves, and that was
There was
it?
glove, and then there was like fridges of different vials and other things. Like I felt like I was in kind of a unique. It wasn't a normal
They
doctor
put you
room,
in like
if
the
you
lab
will.
storage room.
It felt like a lab. There was a chair in there that I could sit down in, but he wanted to get down out of the chair after about 5 minutes of sitting on my lap.
Now, I'm not a big screen time guy, but why not just hand him the phone for 10
Sometimes he's
minutes?
into the screen and sometimes he's not. Sometimes it works. And I tried that. That was my first. My
And he was,
first
like, not
step
into it.
was like, hey, let's watch turtle videos from Hawaii, buddy.
Sure.
Like, let's relive the great memories of
So
our
did you choose the best
tropical
content, or was he like,
island
"Oh, not this
vacation.
again"?
And then he's like looking around. He wants other stuff. Then he wants to hold the phone, and then he's going to drop the phone. So it's like I don't want to give him the phone. Now my phone's going to get cracked. How about a chicken rubber glove? Okay, is that too much to take from the doctors?
What are you going to
Am
do?
I messing up their bottom line at the end of the year?
Yeah, no.
One rubber glove, you will never recover.
They'll
Well, I
bill
just-
your insurance for $120.
Yeah, I'm
You're
sure I'll
fine.
get something additional in the bill in the mail.
I just find it interesting that your instincts were grab something that I don't know if I should be touching.
I mean, yeah. Look,
I'm not taking the doctor's side here. I think you just overall, you're like, how do I entertain this kid
It's
for
not
10
a
minutes?
stethoscope, Sprague. It's
yeah,
a freaking glove.
That's what I'm saying. It's a rubber glove.
But they're for the doctors.
Yeah, I mean, come
They're
on.
for everyone.
They're for
No,
everyone.
they don't say
grab a glove,
everyone
take a
gloves.
glove, okay?
No.
If you walk into a doctor's office and you grab a Band-Aid, are those Band-Aids specifically for the doctors,
Wait.
or are they
Am
for
I allowed to use
everyone
the
in the
tissue
building?
too, or can I
Come
not
on.
sneeze? Is that only the doctor's tissue?
Well, why are you grabbing Band-Aids?
Maybe I need one. Maybe he's got a paper cut.
Yeah.
Then you ask the doctor for a Band-Aid.
You got to ask permission
What if
before
they're
you get a
laying
Band-Aid.
right on the counter?
They're right
You really
there.
need to wait until you come back. Hey, doctor, I've been bleeding for a couple of minutes.
Right
Do you
there in
mind
front of
just
you.
stitching me
I mean,
up?
I'm not going through every drawer. I'm not checking out all the different vials. I just figured a rubber glove was,
I don't know. Like, I'm trying to sit in a spot where I'm not like really taking the doctor's side here, but I'm also thinking, like, what if somebody just came into our studio?
What would the equivalent of taking something be? That'd be like taking a pen. Like at our client party, somebody was like, "Ooh, can I write you
Okay.
a note?" And can I borrow a pen?
But guy
Or
you
they-
don't know walks into the studio during a
Grabs a
commercial
pen.
break and grabs a pen off the desk. I don't really care about these pens.
They're not my pens. Go ahead. I didn't pay for the pens.
But
you
I'd
can have the
also be
pens.
like, who is this? Why did they just take our
Oh,
pen?
look, apples to oranges comparison. Because if somebody's barging into the studio, we got other problems on our
Oh,
hands
you're
here.
right.
You know,
You're
it's
not
not.
supposed to be here.
I didn't invite them into the studio for a 10:45 appointment.
Sure.
And then they tell them they have to sit in here for 20 minutes
Totally
and
get it.
entertain themselves.
I totally get it.
Yeah.
I'm also like, I've never been in a position, I think, where I've looked around and I'm like, I'm going to grab something off the wall. So maybe I just can't understand because
Maybe I'm too loosey goosey in society. Is that what you're
No,
telling me? I'm a
I-
little.
I think
little
one
too
glove will
aggressive.
be okay. I think
Yeah,
it'll be all right.
I didn't take the box. I
No,
didn't take
right.
5. I didn't
Right.
blow up a bug. We didn't have a balloon animal party in there.
I also think how
Glove's
much
still at the house, by the way. He's playing with it when we got home. It's like, you're damn right I'm taking this glove home, and we're going to play with it when we get back.
How much were you rattled for some reason with like an inner monologue of, I shouldn't do this, I did it, and now you're instantly feeling judged without being judged? And so like when you say he chided you when you left, what if we rewound life and he's just like,
live tape.
oh, you can take that glove with you too.
And it wasn't, yeah, and I was inferring too much in the tone.
'Cause you're
Very well
already,
could have been.
you
Very
know,
well could have been.
You were feeling defensive.
I could have. Hey, look, that's definitely a possibility. I won't rule it out.
Mm.
I did not have a guilty feeling taking the glove out of the box, though. There was never a thought in my mind of like, I wonder if I can do this or not.
No, I'm not saying there should be. I find it curious that you're like, no, I'm just going to grab this stuff off the wall.
give me a thing, all right? I'm hanging out in here for 20 minutes.
So I think of all my experiences with doctors. I don't think I've seen every single category of doctor in my life.
yeah.
But of, if you were to lump the dentist into the category, and I
Sure.
know that's a jokey thing that the medical community likes
Is it
to
a
make.
doctor or not a doctor?
Right?
Yeah.
If you were to lump all of those medical people in, I would tell you the only one I've experienced with consistent attitude and just not great energy,
Sure.
dermatologist.
Yeah.
I've had 3 different dermatologists at 3 different points of my life. And every single time, they just look at you and, like, have this such judgy face of, like, that's just standard rash.
Right.
Why are you bothering me with this?
I'm
I
sorry.
as if I didn't pay primo bucks for this appointment.
Yes.
Wait weeks because, you guys aren't just a walk-in service.
You were full and all your appointments for a month.
Dude, the
Yeah.
absolute worst experiences I've ever had with a medical professional of any kind, it's easily the dermatologist, which I would argue they should be the most social, because in some ways you're dealing with the most insecure parts of being a human.
Stuff
Hey,
on your skin, on your face.
I got acne.
Yes.
I got some weird rash thing on my head. I've got dry bumps on my inner thigh. I don't want to show you these, but I need a medical cream. And they're just like,
Dry bumps.
Whatever.
No, I know.
I'm just coming up with stuff.
I've got the vision now, and I don't want it.
There's dry skin there. What's going on?
Yeah.
Why is it there? And they're just like, that's normal. And they just stare at you.
It's
and
the tone,
say it.
too, yeah.
It's the tone. It's the face.
You don't have to be so disrespectful here.
Yeah.
If anything, if I'm a dermatologist, wouldn't you like an appointment where it's actually not a big deal?
I would love it to
like
make
you're
me
paying
feel
the
better.
same amount, you're in there, and it's like, oh, actually, buddy, don't worry about it. You're totally fine. Put a little bit of this cream on there. You're gonna
Dude,
be no issues at all.
seriously.
Thanks for coming in and getting it checked out.
Well,
My
so-
wife and I have talked about this really quickly.
Yeah.
The dermatologist thing, I feel like their bedside manner might not be as great because, you talked about not seeing every, kind of different doctor to this point in your life, which is good. You don't want to. That's a bad thing. But we all, at one point or other, go to the dermatologist. I did not know this until my wife explained to me. It's actually the most competitive specialty as a doctor to get into. So when you're trying
Dermatology
to choose,
is?
Well, it's probably Bucco Bucks, dude.
it's buco bucks.
Crazy
You talk
money
about
in
the
that
appointments
field.
that you're in there
Yeah.
for.
Popping
They're very
pimples.
quick. They're very easy.
Yeah.
And it's very low stress. You don't have to deal with a lot of death. You don't have to deal with a lot of blood. Like,
No.
it's pretty cut and dry. So it is the most competitive. You've got every single doctor and their mother trying to get into that specialty. And when they do, they're back sitting pretty. They don't give an S really about you. They give an S as a dermatologist about the massive check and the easy job that they've got.
So
Yeah.
I've experienced this personally. So I take my daughter into an appointment, and I didn't think she needed to go. She asked, compared to me, and I think compared to a lot of kids I see, like pretty standard, normal little amounts of acne every once in a while.
Sure,
Like,
every
nothing
kid's going to
crazy.
have it occasionally.
I tell her it looks great. I'm like, I'm jealous.
Yeah.
So my wife scheduled an appointment anyway. So I go with her, and I wanted to go get a prescription because I have psoriasis on my head.
Yeah.
So I need to get that filled. So I go with her. My appointment's first. I then go into the office right next to because her appointment's next.
That's a nice little 2-for-1 right there.
And I have the same takeaway. I'm like, third dermatologist I've ever seen in my life, and it's the same vibe every time, different person.
Yeah.
It's just like this weird, I don't want to tell you what's wrong with me because you're giving me a look right now. So I get out of that appointment, right? That's my takeaway. I walk into the room, same derm as my daughter. I'm sitting there just in case my daughter needs me to like convey any kind of message.
Yeah, do you have a
right?
question or if she has something she doesn't understand?
And just everything my daughter brings up, it's the same vibe, at least to me. And I'm like, well, maybe my interpretation of the situation is wrong. So we walk out, we go to the car, and my daughter just goes, Dad, can I tell you something? And I'm like, yeah, what's up? And she goes, she seemed really like mean and just uncomfortable. And I was like, thank
you.
Oh,
I've been
that was-
saying this
Thank you.
my whole
I
life.
don't know what it is, but every dermatologist I see, they just have a weird arrogance,
Yeah.
like bad, I don't know, aura. It's a thing, man.
You gotta, if you're a doctor, like you gotta work on that.
You gotta have people skills.
You gotta have
Bedside
people skills.
manner.
Yes, it's
That's
a very important thing.
I know.
Our first pediatrician was that way. Like we moved, so we don't go there anymore. We probably would have left eventually, but I remember early on when we would take Teddy in for a random thing or an appointment, and you would have a question or concern. It's like, dude, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Okay, it's the first time I've gone through this.
Right.
He's 3 weeks old. He's like, this yellow snot's coming out of his nose, and I feel like he's about to die. I don't know of any answers for this. Can you please put my mind at ease? And every time it was completely dismissive, which I get from their perspective of like they see it every day. They understand it's not that big of a
Yeah.
deal. But back to the bed, like, can you just reassure me without like talking down to me? Like, oh yeah, it's fine. Nothing you can do.
Well, like, okay, so say it's yellow snot. Teddy Ballgame's got yellow snot. He's 3 weeks old. If I'm a doctor, I've heard and seen this my whole career.
A million times.
So you say it to me. I'll pretend to be the doctor.
Yeah, he's got some yellow snot coming out of his nose. It won't stop. It's kind of freaking us out.
Totally get it. Let me reassure you guys. Happens to tons of kids. I see it all the time. He's A-okay. He checks out great. You're gonna
Perfect.
be all right.
Instead of the attitude of, why are you in here wasting my time?
Yeah, there's like a facial thing
Yes,
of like,
a tone.
yeah, it's normal.
Duh.
Have a good day.
Well, thanks, Tips. I
right.
wasn't aware of that. It's my first child.
And I understand that these people, they're way smarter than us.
Yes, they
It takes
are.
a lot to do what they do.
Yes, it does.
But maybe they could learn something from us.
Aha.
Be kind of normal.
People helping people.
People helping people.
Powerful thing, man.
I like that, yeah.
I'm taking that rubber glove.
Side note, you like to chide people who
Yes.
record concerts. You recorded Turtles in the Ocean as if you're going to rewatch that ever?
He was sitting next to one. That's the only reason I did it. Not just like a random turtle swimming around. No. Hey, look at that turtle! No, there was one like on a that like kind of swam up to the shore a little bit,
yeah.
and he went and sat down next to it. And he, there's like an 8-second video of him saying "turtle bathtub" pointing at the water.
Yeah, you're showing him the same turtle, dude. There's got to be turtle videos on YouTube. Like, go beach turtle.
Hey, I
YouTube
tried the
videos.
phone thing, man. I gave it a shot. I said, "Screen time, buddy. I'm not opposed to it. You go ahead and do it."
Trust tree?
Yeah.
Did you touch a turtle there?
I did not touch a turtle.
It's supposed to not be good for them.
You cannot touch the turtles.
I guess our oils can give them
That's
cancer.
rule number one. You can't take exotic plants in there, and you can't touch the turtles.
They're so majestic.
I know. I really wanted to
You just
touch
want
it.
to hug them. You're like, dude, you just look awesome.
I want to mainly touch the head,
Not
not the shell. And what's the skin feel like?
I'm more fascinated by the fin leg.
The fins,
shell
you touch it,
situation.
yeah.
I just think it's cool.
Just I did want to touch it. I'm not gonna
Yeah.
lie, but I didn't.
Did you snorkel?
I did for a little bit. It's hard when you're there with a 2-year-old because then
very
it's like
hard with children.
Yeah, I
It's
mean
almost
he's not going to
impossible.
go snorkeling. That's
No.
not going to happen.
We're not doing flotation.
So it's one of those
devices in
things
the
of like,
ocean.
hey, well, honey, you hang on the beach. I'm going to go swim in the ocean for a half hour.
Yeah.
I'll see you later.
Yeah,
Deuces.
You
like,
guys do deep ocean snorkeling or like out
no,
or on the
dude,
shore?
no, within 30 feet of the
Dude,
sand.
we are still.
I'm
being
not
able-
going out into the ocean.
Yeah,
deepest
don't
I
do that.
went was like
I did it. It sucked.
Yeah.
the deepest I think I went is when we got married in 2012. The wife and I snorkeled the whole trip. We didn't snorkel last time we went because we have kids. It's just a weird thing. We had a turtle at one of the bays we were snorkeling, and it was so majestic. We ended up like in a trance, and we just followed him. And he was just swimming, and we realized he was swimming out into the ocean, like
Poke your head
away.
up. You're like, uh-oh.
And like the water was getting darker, and I'm like, I'm turning around.
Nope.
I finally snapped out of it. The wife and I look up, and like we were a swag 500 yards away, but really we were 30 yards.
Right.
Like we're going back. We're going back.
Turn around. This is where the great whites are.
No, thank you.
Stay away from the great
More
whites.
worried about the bull sharks over there.
Yeah, you got to keep your
The
head on
bull
a swivel.
sharks are a bunch of a-holes,
They'll
man.
come get you, man.
All right, well, hello.
Hello, everybody.
Happy Thursday.
Don't get chided today.
Don't get chided.
Don't you chide me over my takes.
Schultze in for Swigard today. He's going to be out for TBD.
Yeah.
A week,
Maybe.
longer.
TBD.
Obviously dealing with his medical thing with his dad, so still thinking about him and his family there. So Schultze in today. It's a loaded show. We got a Magic Hat. We got 2 guests. Let's get it going. Let's start with the good news. It's finally dead on 105.1, The Fan.
The Fan Golf Classic.
Got a lot to get to today. Got some college football in the notes. Got audio.
Love a little college football segment in April.
Oh,
I don't know if I'm going to love that one, but
backup quarterback
Hey.
talking to the media.
some would say most important guy on the team. Okay, insurance policy in case something goes wrong. Some
Sit
people call
down.
him Mini Mahomes.
Be humble. Sit down. Be humble.
I've never said anything bad about him in my life on this radio. There's no tape out there.
We got two guests today. Eric Collins is the regular Hornets play-by-play man. He's also going to be calling playoff games for Amazon Prime.
Yes, he is.
So he's going to hop on with us at 7:30. And then coming up at 8:30, we'll do a peekaboo, a little look ahead of Spurs Blazers.
Game 1, Sunday.
Tips off this weekend, and so we'll talk with our good friend Jason Minix down in San Antonio.
Used to do regular hits with him when there were playoff appearances, and then they stole LaMarcus Aldridge. We haven't had him on in a while, and now it's time to talk to him again.
Yep, we're back, baby. Scaring them like no other down there.
Shaking in their boots.
Speaking of being scared and shaking in their boots, feels like that Saudi investment firm certainly is with a war going on in Iran, according to reports. LIV Golf is basically on the brink of officially packing it up.
Yeah, it was a hell of a day yesterday in the golf world. I was following it closely. I'm sure some probably weren't. It went from shutting down immediately to the CEO saying, no, we're fine. We're great all the way through 2032. And then by the end of the day, it was, well, we're fine until the end of the year, and then we'll see from there. But business as usual as we proceed. My favorite joke I saw about it, though, was all the stuff going on in the Middle East. It would be hilarious if the war in Iran ended up shutting down LIV Golf, and that ended up being an outcome of it. But basically, the Saudis pouring over their financials, and then somebody inside the Crown Prince's circle saying, wait a minute, why have we paid somebody named Taylor Gooch $70 million over the last 2 years? Maybe this is really dumb. I've said it from the get-go. The only question about LIV Golf that ever mattered is how long are the Saudis cool hemorrhaging money? Because it was never going to be a profitable league. It was never going to work. It was never going to rise to the level of the PGA Tour. It was never going to get a prime TV deal. And it just like that's the only question. They're spending out of the butt, and they got more money than anybody on the planet to be able to do it. So as long as they're okay, they'll keep rolling it out. But clearly we got our answer that after this year, they're like, nah, we've lost over $1 billion on this. We're not getting anything in return.
Right.
It has not grown in popularity, and we're going to shut that thing down.
Well, so here is the thing that I found funny in reading about it, because they announced it kind of at the tail end of the show. They had this emergency meeting in New York City.
Yeah, there were rumors kind of boiling all day, but nothing specific. And then the end of the show, you found out about the meeting.
I can't help but laugh at the idea that I remember when it all started. I think it was Greg Norman. I want to say it was Greg Norman was basically like, we got all the money in the world. We're never stopping.
Yeah.
Boy, that didn't last very long.
No, it didn't.
And second, what a ride for Rory McIlroy to go back-to-back from the Masters.
Hell of a week, dude.
And a week later,
Hell of a
LIV
week.
is like, we're broke. We don't want to pay for this anymore. It's over.
Yeah, bitches, come on back.
And like, I'm being serious here. You can not like Rory McIlroy. We give Joe Fisher a hard time because he doesn't like him for whatever the reasons are. That's fine. I don't care about that. But if this was to happen to any other sport we like if this was in football or this was basketball, fill in the blank, whatever player in those sports you don't like, if the sport was teetering because somebody started another league and this big-named player was
stood up for the institution.
the hell I will, and
Yeah.
was like giving them, a lot of crap for bouncing and taking the big check and staying firm, I think you'd have to commend him. And so he wasn't alone in that. Tiger Woods also said no, and I know
Right.
Tiger's going through his demons, but
He turned down $1 billion.
in the moment, though, looking back, remarkable, man.
Yeah.
And you got to give him a lot of credit for standing up to it in the face of an era where everybody's just saying yes to the blank check.
Yes.
Right?
Including some people who said they would never say yes to the blank check.
Athletes,
John Rahm.
celebrities, politicians, you name it, dude. Everybody's getting bought. Rory McIlroy, who does make a lot of money, was like,
course.
yeah, I could make a ton more, but I'm good here, and he stood up for it, and he's going to end up winning the whole thing.
Yeah, I mean, legacy mattered to him, and playing on a tour that was the best tour in the world mattered to him, and he still gets to play internationally. He gets to play events on the DP World Tour, and he still plays events in Saudi Arabia early in the year, so he's able to kind of split his calendar a little bit. And yeah, there's no doubt, like, look, financially speaking, the guys on LIV will always be rewarded for it, although I don't know how many of their contracts were going past this year. And they can go file a breach of contract in front of a Saudi court if they want to, which I would love to see Phil Mickelson on national television arguing against a Saudi crown prince that they broke his contract and they still owe him another $100 million. It's going to be fascinating to see how it all works out, right? Like, this is going to shut down. They're going to try and argue for the rest of the season that, well, no, we'll find other funding. It's like, no, you won't, man. What's going out, you cannot duplicate coming in because you're spending so much money on these golfers and guaranteed contracts and prize payouts and all of that. Like, there's no sponsorships and TV deals that you can go find that will match that will make this profitable. And so it's going to crumble. And it's awesome for the game of golf. LIV was never going to succeed. It just was never going to be a mainstream golf league in terms of the shorts and the 54 holes and the shotgun start and the music vibe. For some younger bros and for some people out there, you enjoyed it and you watched it. I never really got into it. Half the tournaments were on in the middle of the night because they're in South Korea or South Africa or Australia. And so it's on at 3 o'clock in the morning and you're just not going to be on primetime TV windows. But it's awesome for golf to try and reunify. And now the $1 million question will become, how does the PGA Tour handle this? They have ultimately won the war. And at least at the end of the year, they would have won the war. They've already got Brooks back. They're on the process of bringing Patrick Reed back. And now it's a question of all the other guys.
They have to take a year off is what I read.
I mean, it's not all Brooks didn't have to take a year off.
No, I know.
So, like, everybody's going to be treated differently.
Yes.
And that's the unique part of it of, do you allow Rahm and Bryson back immediately because they're massive names? If they say this week, hey, we want to come back, are you allowing them immediately back on the tour? Do you make them wait a year? Like,
I would assume they would.
And think about all the guys. Like, we did a story, I remember months ago in the Magic Hat when Swag brought it up, the NCAA national champion, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, that person gets an automatic berth to Augusta to go play, and they're supposed to go play with the defending Masters champion. It's like a massive deal. And the kid this year said no, he signed a deal with LIV, which then took away his ability to go play in the Masters. He was a guy I was thinking about yesterday. Like, you didn't even get that big of a bag. You turned down a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Now you got to go to Q school? Congratulations, buddy. You're back to step one. And so all these guys kind of shuffling their feet back. The $1 million question ultimately, though, is how they handle and treat Phil Mickelson. Because Phil Mickelson basically was the spearhead of all of this and the guy who tried to tear down the tour. He's been incredibly critical of everything that the tour does. And we all appreciate and acknowledge the career that he's had in the game of golf. But do you just turn around and welcome him back with open arms? He's not in the prime. This isn't John Rahm, who's still winning major championships, or Bryson, who's still contending. This is a guy who's probably supposed to be playing on the senior tour, who hasn't really played in the last year. How they handle Phil Mickelson is a fascinating outcome to all of this, because he was the guy who was the first one to jump to showcase to other golfers that it was okay to jump.
The last one I would point to and move on, there's an interesting little blurb on The Athletic about, did LIV actually help golf? And you can laugh at that and say, well, no, it's dying. And you could, yeah, no doubt. But in some ways, as they point out, the threat of LIV did increase things for the PGA.
Oh, the payouts are bigger, yeah.
Here's an example. Rory McIlroy just won $4.5 million at the Masters. Do you know how much Hideki Matsuyama won in 2021?
I guess it's somewhere in the high twos.
Two,
yeah.
That's more than double.
It's massive, yeah.
So the payouts are all bigger. Got bigger, and so everybody got a little more serious about addressing some of the issues in the PGA. So
that's when you got all these elevated events now on the PGA Tour where the fields are all guaranteed and the payouts are bigger.
It did make it better. It's funny to also laugh at it that it's going away. That's what I wanted to highlight.
The main purpose that it served for me from golf was putting tournaments in places that didn't often get tournaments.
Sure.
That was like the scenes in Australia or places that they would go play where there was a player on tour from that country. Those were always great, and I'm glad those golf fans got to experience something. Outside of that, it served no other purpose.
A couple LIV events here, right, in Portland, or at least one.
I went to it when it was at Pumpkin Ridge. I was there.
The picture is a little clearer, and the narrative seems to be wrong. I'll tell you what I'm talking about. But first, Schulte with a sports update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
This update is brought to you by Reynolds Defense Firm. If you've been arrested for DUI, you need a team of attorneys you can put your trust into. Call Reynolds Defense Firm today online at reynoldsdefensefirm.com. First on The Fan, NBA play-in action last night. The Warriors still alive after beating the Clippers 126-121. Steph Curry going off for 35 points. They'll move on to face off against the Suns for the 8th seed in the West tomorrow night. Over in the East, the Sixers topping the Magic 109-76 behind a 31-point effort from Tyrese Maxey. They're locking in the 7th seed with that win in the East and will face the Celtics this weekend. Of course, Orlando one more chance tomorrow against the Hornets. Over to the PGA, round 1 of RBC Heritage happening over in South Carolina right now. Got some big-name golfers scheduled to get going later this morning. Scottie Scheffler at looks like 10:50 today. Tommy Fleetwood on the course at 10:40. Your overall leader, Brian Campbell, right now through 10 at 3 under, and looks like Michael Brennan and Jordan Smith tied for second at 2 under right now. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. I'm Schulte from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Heard missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of Dirt and Sprague. Weekday morning 6 to 10 a.m. The Fan Sports Network.
One of our listeners has a LIV Golf ball marker.
Never forget, man.
Hey, man.
Never forget. I was there when it was at Pumpkin Ridge. It was wild. walking around. Phil Mickelson playing number 4, Pumpkin.
Wasn't Norman tossing beers
Yes,
to the patrons?
standing on the driving.
Awesome.
I will never forget that because I played both sides of Pumpkin a million times, and standing on the range and being like Phil and Dustin Johnson and Brooks and all these guys walking out playing a course I play was really weird.
So we had play-in stuff yesterday.
Yes, we did.
I completely missed the Sixer Magic game. I had basketball practice, and I missed the first quarter and a half of the Warrior Clipper game.
Yeah.
So I saw that the Sixers beat the Magic, who are one game away from firing their head coach, and I don't know what they do with their roster because they're probably going to have to pivot in some ways.
Yeah, I ended up watching a decent chunk of that game. Now, I'm not going to pretend to have watched Orlando Magic basketball.
It's been pretty awful.
You were excited about the idea of acquiring Banchero, so I don't want to overreact to one game. Does he have like a shooting phobia?
No, he can't shoot very well.
Okay.
It's like a Ben Simmons situation. He
It
just
feels
can't.
like he
I don't think
passed
it's
up.
quite Ben Simmons level, but
No.
it's he's not had a good year.
Like, dude, he was
that whole team is
passing
weird.
up open shots. Like,
Yeah.
what are we doing? Bane was the only good player on the team last
Baines
night.
actually had a really good year. You
Yeah.
want to talk about the trade? 5 picks is egregious, but he at least has had a good year. There's a lot of on the streets NBA chatter that him and Franz hate each other.
Yeah, Banchero and Franz?
Yeah, Banchero and Franz.
Break them up, dude. We'll take one of them.
Well,
Probably rather have Franz
there's
at
a
this
lot of
point.
people that don't want Banchero.
Yeah. I
but
take Franz Wagner.
it fit in with Portland.
25 and 3s. Big guy. I'll take it.
So the Magic lose. The Sixers win. Maxi's good in that game.
Yes.
And then I watched this Warrior Clipper game, not like super closely because I said yesterday, I don't really care. I think both these teams are bad.
It was on my screen, but I wasn't glued to it.
Dude, a Steph little heater with Kevin Harlan on a call, and then you get an Al Horford run at the end. And then, oh, by the way, I think Draymond Green pops his Achilles. Then I realize it's a knee injury. And then about 2 possessions later, he's just ripping Kawhi Leonard.
Yes, back in the game, dominating defensively.
Like, if you ever want to have a tape moment and an argument for why Draymond deserves more credit in their run.
Yeah, show him that highlight at the end of the game.
Yeah, and Steve Kerr said it at the end. Steve Kerr, I think, gets a little hyperbolic at times with things he says as a coach, but I still appreciate him saying it. And he was like, Draymond's the best defender I've ever seen in my life. And I think people would argue with that and be like, really? He's better than this guy, that guy, and the other guy. But
there's no way to prove it right or wrong.
That can't be easy for a Draymond Green to have to defend
Kawhi.
And I know they're roughly the same height, but
yeah, one's a little bit quicker.
Yeah, one's much different a player. But Chris Paul posts a picture of the guy at the funeral because the Clippers get eliminated from the play-in.
Did he really post that last night?
Yeah.
Well done, Chris Paul.
You know the black guy with sunglasses at the funeral that's like posing?
Yeah.
Not the peace sign.
Not that one. Okay.
Just the serious stone face. Like
I know
at
which
the
one you're
funeral.
talking about. Yeah.
Chris Paul posted that when the Clippers lost.
I'm aware, Clippers.
Yeah,
I'm aware.
I see
Your
you,
season's
Dad.
over. Bye-bye.
And so the Clippers are going to end now and probably have to do something because I imagine Kawhi Leonard and the Clippers are going to get in trouble from this
You would think, right?
investigation that's taking forever.
He said after the game last night, Kawhi did, I'm not worried about it, which, what else is he going to say at this point? Does the NBA and Adam Silver have any teeth? We'll find out, I guess, in the offseason based on how they handle this story. I think, in their perspective, it's probably been pushed to the back burner because now this whole tanking debate is taken on, and now we got to settle that for the next month. And so I'm still curious to see how that all plays out. I'm not going to go over the top in making fun of the Clippers, although it is hilarious to see them again do nothing and always do nothing as a franchise. They might lose Kawhi Leonard in his contract, but we kind of did this last year with Phoenix. Now, I know we just beat Phoenix, and so I don't know if they're going to be Golden State or not Friday night for the 8th seed. But it's when we're quick to make fun of a team, some have the ability to pivot. And I think when you have the richest owner in professional sports and you have a market that people want to live in and you can entice free agents to come to, like the Clippers long-term, I'm sure will be fine, but they got to get through this in the short term. And it's almost probably good. Like, just put them out of their misery. They were going nowhere. Steph and Draymond wanted to give it one more go in the postseason. It was really fun to see Steph go off last night. It's one of those moments I try and acknowledge of, like, I don't know how many more years he's going to do this. So when you get a glimpse of it, try and enjoy it and appreciate it because, to your point, especially when Harlan's on the call, it's really fun to watch him go on a heater, and he's like, dude, you just can't miss. He's throwing shots in from all over the floor. But the Clippers, unfortunately, long-term will probably be fine because they have Ballmer and they're in Los Angeles, and that's a pretty good, powerful 1-2 punch.
I do think they're going to get hit with something. I don't know if hammered is the term I'd use because I don't know how to feel about Adam Silver and the way that they're conducting themselves in that manner, but they're at least doing a thorough investigation, and now their season's over, so I think eventually I wouldn't be shocked if Silver looked at the calendar and said, What's the date of the last NBA Finals game? I'm going to do that announcement after.
The Monday after that's all done is when you
Because
drop that one.
If you're Silver, and you can certainly disagree with this, if you're Silver from a business perspective, do you want all the shows in America,
Nope.
if they do talk NBA, to bring up and go, coming up next?
Right.
And instead of saying, like, man, did you see that great Western Conference Finals game between Wemby and the Thunder?
Game 4. You mean Blazers? Excuse me?
Oh, sorry. Denny and SGA.
Denny and SGA
Coming
going
up
back
next.
and forth. Game 4 of the conference finals.
Who's the biggest foul hunter in the association? We saw it on display last night.
Well, and again, to that point, what are they going to vote on in May that everybody's going to debate? We'll get the actual reforms to the lottery,
The
and
tanking
that will
stuff.
take headlines away from actual playoff games.
Yeah.
So I think you're spot on. You don't want this overshadowing. You already have one thing overshadowing
Especially if
it.
it's a big punishment.
Dude, if you're like kicking Kawhi off the Clippers and nullifying the contract, that's a massive bombshell.
Yeah.
And is he free to go wherever he wants? Like just go sign anywhere?
He goes to the Lakers.
That
doesn't he?
changes the free. He absolutely does. He's already in Los
doesn't wanna
Angeles.
leave LA.
Go team up with Luka Doncic, and they got a max salary slot. Like, are you limiting how much money he can make in his next contract? Million questions out of it, but I'm with you. I think they wait till the end of the finals.
I'll tell you this, dude. I know a lot of people, their takeaway from the Jailblazer doc, if they've seen it, underwhelming, and Bob Whitsitt and Rashid and all that. I'll say this about Bob Whitsitt. I found him to be hysterical of how he, like, still to this day refuses to admit any wrong on the Ruben Patterson signing.
He never got in trouble.
Who was better? What I will acknowledge, though, is I did think he dropped some real truth in there that I appreciate as a fan from a general manager viewpoint.
Yes, especially in Portland.
Never be satisfied.
Yeah.
Now, you can over-tweak, which he clearly did, but, like, always evaluate. You can make an argument for running things back and saying, no, it was good. It was a good step. Let's see what it is next year, and then tweak. He didn't choose to do that. But I did love the Scottie Pippen trade stuff. That little blurb of Scottie wanted to go to the Lakers, and it was only the Lakers, and he told Whitsitt and the Blazers, I'm not going there.
Not happening.
And Whitsitt's whole thing of, like, you just want to keep being the fourth fiddle everywhere you go, huh? That's what you want to do? You could be the number one here. And Scottie was here day one, ready to go,
all
balled
right,
out.
you got me.
I would love for them to be aggressive if Kawhi somehow was on the market.
Oh, without a doubt, you go after him.
And be like, yo,
Yo,
we know you don't like rain.
we got a different kind of rain, though.
We have these things called roofs and indoor heating.
You can stay inside
And
the entire time.
We'll make it 77.
Yes.
We'll put AI devices all in your house and make it look like you're in an LA beach, and then you come play basketball. What do you think?
You go live on the coast, and we'll fly your helicopter over for every game.
You imagine
okay?
having Kawhi on our team?
That'd be incredible.
Oh, my God.
if he all of a sudden was a free agent.
Oh.
I loved the Scotty anecdote from Whitsitt and how they pulled that off, and it was a great job finally persuading him to say yes. But then in the aftermath of it, I did think, God, how many titles would Scotty have had? He would have had 9, right?
If he just won the one?
No. If he had gone to the Lakers instead of the Blazers.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, he would have got 9.
He would have had 9 rings.
He would have
Is he
been
the
like,
GOAT?
If he's got 9, is he the GOAT?
him and Bill Russell,
one,
man.
though.
That would have been a crazy
Right, because he won
conversation,
6 in Chicago.
Well, I've always asked this, and I've been wondering this since I watched them play as a child. Because even growing up, like, it was Michael Jordan's the best, right? And then Michael retires, you get a little older, and then LeBron comes along, and then you start seeing LeBron be what LeBron becomes, right? And then it becomes somewhat of an argument, but a lot of people will never relent on this.
Mm-hmm.
I've always wondered sincerely if the Blazers wouldn't have, like, crumbled in that fourth quarter and they win and beat the Pacers in the finals.
What does it do to the narrative?
Well, yeah, it has to change it in some ways, does it not? Because if Scottie goes on to win a ring in Portland, effing Oregon.
Yeah. As the best player,
Without
arguably, on the
Michael,
team, right? Him and Rashid probably
Rashid
1A,
was
1B.
probably more talented, but overall, yeah, Scottie was the leader of that team.
Yeah.
If that happens, what is the narrative, or how is the narrative changed?
I think you found your answer in the years that Michael stepped away. That they still won 50-plus games the first year and went on a
No, I
run
don't
in the
think he
playoffs.
did because Michael.
Well, what I'm saying is
gets all
it
the
didn't
credit.
change anything. That's what I'm
Oh,
saying. Like, they
gotcha.
still won 50-plus games without him.
55.
55 games, and I know
they made the East Finals next
Yes,
year, right?
Quarter. I think they made the quarter.
Okay, second round.
Yeah.
And Scotty famously had the migraine and sat out the game, and they couldn't, they didn't pull it off. So I know they didn't win a championship, but it wasn't like he'd left and they cratered without him. So I think I think that debate has gotten to a point where
But a ring is different than the quarters and 55
I think
wins.
they would have just spun it a different way. Like, oh, it was,
The loaded
team. It's Rashid and Damon Stoudemire and Arvydas Sabonis. It's their team. Scotty's just along for the ride.
Okay.
Definitely in L.A., though. Had he gone there and won 3 more, that wouldn't have helped because he would have been the third best player on their team.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And Phil Jackson was there. And
yeah,
all.
I don't think it would have changed if he won one in Portland. I think it. I disagree with you. I think it changes a little. I don't know in what ways, but Mike never won one pre-Scotty, and damn sure wasn't getting close in Washington.
No, he was not.
If Scotty would have came to Portland and done it, it would have been like, whoa, maybe your number 2 was also a number 1.
Jordan Stanza takes a lot to get them off their argument.
Well,
man.
you're never going.
You're never backing them down.
Even to piggyback, if he won one in Portland, could have won 2 because they wouldn't have made pretty much any changes going into 01.
Oh yeah, you're right.
They would have
ran
won.
that back,
it would have been very, very.
You're telling me we wouldn't have added
very
Sean Kemp that next offseason? Is that what you're telling me? We wouldn't have traded for Sean Kemp?
The recipe to repeat. Sean Kemp.
Fat ass high the whole time.
God. So our play-in results last night, you got Steph and the Warriors. If they beat Phoenix, they're in. And I'll tell you, give me the Warriors, even though they're going to get swept. I'd just rather watch Steph go for 30 points and lose than what the Phoenix Suns are doing.
I probably won't watch much of that series either way, but I'm with you completely. I'd rather have Steph in the playoffs.
So the Warriors win, the Sixers win, the Magic lose, and the Clippers are out. And we'll have to wait and see. I didn't get to one point I wanted to get to, the narrative not being right. And I'll tell you what I'm talking about next on The Fan.
The firm of Harry.
A lot to get to in the second hour of the radio program. I'll tell you about that in just a couple minutes. But I was reading some stuff yesterday. And how about this? You know, the narrative of this league is it's basically trash. It's not good. I don't like it. It's awful. They don't care. Why should I care? Doesn't really seem to be holding a lot right now because the NBA saw a massive increase in viewership across all their platforms this year. More people this year than have in – God, what was the thing I read? It was some of the biggest increase. Yeah, 15 years.
Wow. That's massive.
Up 15 years of viewership ratings this year.
Take your victory lap, dude. It's a great. I mean, that's an awesome.
Take a victory lap because I understand why people don't like it.
I mean, look, there are faults and weaknesses of the NBA. I think there's an argument out there, and you've made this before. I know Eric Gunnarson's made this point of like the NBA doesn't help themselves because they allow the negative narratives to kind of take hold instead of focusing on the positives. Where there's a lot of good things going on inside the sport. There's a lot of intrigue. We've had how many years in a row now of the different champion?
Is it six or
seven, somewhere in that range.
Which one is it?
See what you did there. We've gotten out of, and maybe OKC proves this wrong. We've gotten out of a bit of that dynasty run that we were on. That it was the same teams every year, and
so
there was not
that's
really
good?
Hope. Like I absolutely think it's good. Like
people
it doesn't.
Like Colin Cowherd think it's bad for the league to not have a dynasty.
You have to have hope amongst fan bases in order for people to be invested. How many Blazer fans have we heard from? We heard from a ton yesterday who said that was the first Blazer game that I've watched from start to finish. Now, I know we're unique because we went through a tank, but that's one of the driving forces in other sports. Like, if you don't tell me there's a legitimate pathway to winning a championship, for some fans, you're just checking out immediately and like, we know who's going to win it. Having hope is a powerful thing, and it keeps people invested, and it keeps them watching games, and it gives them a reason to follow and support. And so there's a lot of great things going inside basketball. To be honest with you, I was shocked by this because I didn't know how the pivot to, and I don't know what percentage of games it would have broken down to, but the pivot to more streaming outcomes or streaming partners, where you have Amazon as a primary partner now. A ton of games went on Peacock for the NBA this season.
Yep.
And that was a fear I remember having with their TV deal of, dude, they got a ton of money, so I don't blame them at all for taking it. Are you really going to get your fans to jump from traditional ways of watching? It's one thing for the NFL to do it because it's the NFL, first off, and it's one game a week on Thursday night.
Right.
Outside of that, every other game is on its traditional platform, and it was a higher chunk for the NBA. So the fact that they saw that big of a jump in ratings is massive for Adam Silver in the league, and now they just got to get out of their own way and stop feeding into the negativity of all of it and start focusing on the positives.
Yeah, 7 straight years, new champion.
7 straight years.
Haven't
Did we get to 8? I mean, it's basically OKC or the field.
I know.
It'd be great if we did, because OKC
I think they're a wagon, dude.
seems not unbeatable is not fair.
You know the good thing
Indiana
about it?
damn near did last year.
The good thing is the last back-to-back we had was the Kevin Durant Warriors.
Mm-hmm.
And I think because as great as Oklahoma City is, and I do want to make that clear, very great, there is still, for whatever reason, until we see them win, I think 3. I think even if they do it again, we're going to the next year with the same thing of still feels open. Because I do think there's that many more good teams. They're a really great team, but it's not Kevin Durant on the Warriors unbeatable type level.
No,
right?
no. So they almost lost to Denver in the second round, and they almost lost to Indiana in the NBA Finals.
Exactly. So that my whole thing is they might repeat, but it does still feel very open for a handful of teams. And you just hope that your team is one of those handful of teams.
Without a doubt.
Which maybe we are. 7-2 upset?
Could be us.
Let's get to that. We'll start the second hour with Little Blazers, where we were looking for something in this build, and I just want to make a point of like, hey, maybe we achieved the goal, and we should acknowledge that. We'll talk with Eric Collins at 7:30. It's a loaded second hour. Dirt and Sprague on 105.1 The Fan.
When you're hiring,
Happy Thursday, everybody. Look at us getting through the week, huh? How about that? Getting real tired of paying these gas prices. I'll tell you that much. I had to fill my wife's car up yesterday.
Try driving a truck, man.
There was a guy that came
Sell
into
it.
the gas station. Who's going to buy it?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. I was just
Sell
lamenting
it.
to my wife.
Time to sell big truck.
There's a Toyota dealership in Wilsonville near my house, and there are probably 50-plus trucks just sitting there.
Well, a
Just
guy
hanging
rolls
out,
up,
yeah.
right next to me, and I don't have like a big gas guzzling car.
No,
Her
you-
car's pretty good.
Yeah.
And I got an EV, and I was debating if I'm going to keep that thing by September, and I'm looking at everything, and I'm like, nothing's going to change. I'm probably going to be keeping this thing. You just keep plugging in. Man, this truck rolls right next to us, and I'm talking like 4-foot lifts,
Big truck.
big old mud tires.
Yeah.
you know,
Naked ladies on the flaps? Tell me there was naked ladies.
boobies on the flaps.
Some
of the
balls
back.
hanging from the tailgate.
Oh, dude,
Yeah.
an American Eagle just
Truck
like
now we're talking about, dude.
screaming. Like,
I've always wanted to get a pair of truck nuts. That'd be a good Christmas gift for me. File that one away.
no.
Buy me some truck nuts.
Actually,
Why'd you ask your wife to do that?
my dad-in-law just bought a truck. Should I send him some truck nuts?
I think you should.
First
yeah.
truck in his life.
I think you should.
But I just looked at that truck, and I'm like, dude, there's no way you're getting better than 9 per mile.
No.
No, like
Or
7.
what is that? 9 miles per gallon. There's no way it's better than that.
I'm not going to pretend to know anything about
Good
it.
luck with that.
But the answer is probably no.
I had a guy aggressively pass me. I was going like probably almost 10 over the speed not long ago, and I got a guy in a huge truck. You know when they like hit the gas and the black smoke comes out? See, he does that. The black smoke comes out. He gets to the side of me, goes right past me, aggressively gets over, and I started laughing. And I go, keep burning the gas, dude. Have fun with that, Bill.
That diesel smell.
And then I got over casually to the middle lane.
I'm going to go hang out over here in the middle in the right lines.
You
It's a
have
good
it.
place to live in, dude. I'm not
You got
I'm
it.
not going too fast. I'm not burning up this gas right now.
I just plug in.
That ain't happening.
That same thing happened to me, God, I think 2 months ago, and I'm only saying this because a cop was probably 1,000 feet ahead of us, and the guy cutting me off did not realize it. So we got to watch him get owned.
That
and
is fantastic.
very, very angrily
Yes.
pulling off to the Haines Street exit, and you could see how, like, he was, like, pulling off and very, very quickly braking, and the look on his face, I'm just like, oh, this is so satisfying.
Get caught.
Yes. Pull him over. Give him a ticket.
But happy Thursday. Want to remind you guys before we get it going here in the second hour, you can join us on June 23rd as Toyota presents the Fan Golf Classic out at Langdon Farms. Foursomes on sale now. You could choose between the morning or afternoon rounds. Hurry up and sign up. They do fill up fast. Join us on the infamous Angel Envy's Bourbon Par 3 6th hole. We'll be hanging out. Danny and Patrick, Luke, Isaac, and Suk. Schultze, will you be making an appearance out at this one this year?
We got to have Schulte out there.
Yeah, I usually try to get out
I would
there.
like you to hit a tee shot.
We need tee shots from
I need
Schulte this
redemption
year.
from Schultze. I think
Yeah.
you can do it.
All right, I can see if I I won't be matching you guys, but I can definitely get it to the green.
I didn't.
Ooh,
I
I
don't
like
think
it.
I hit the green last year. I bounced off one of my shots.
Yeah, I only hit a couple. Meringue kind of commandeered it, so we gotta power struggle this thing back.
Yeah, it's not like Meringue was lighting it up.
No.
You know what I mean, Schultze? So you can get out there and
We
get a
need the
couple
listeners
shots.
need some help here, okay? They need some balls on greens. That's
well,
what we need.
2 years ago, it was you, Dirt, that was saying, like, Schultze, get the hell off the tee. So now it's funny that you guys are asking me back, so I appreciate
He
that.
was having a hard time making contact.
It
He was having
I hadn't even shot yet.
that was my. Did you make contact though?
Wait, he hadn't even swung and you told him to get the hell off?
I don't think those were my words.
Boy,
I
you're-
don't remember that.
Maybe not. Yeah, that was the tone.
People think I'm the douchebag on the show.
Were you?
You're
were
stealing
you,
doctor's gloves and telling people to stop playing a sport.
was I chiding you for trying to hit your tee shot?
You were no, I'm not going to say it. You were chiding me for trying to hit a
chiding.
tee shot.
If you join us out on June 23rd at Langdon Farms for the Van Golf Classic, we'll feed you with Matt's Barbecue, which is delightful, best brisket in the world. Head to 1051thefan.com and click on the Fan Golf Classic logo for info to sign up today. The Fan Golf Classic, Golf Classic, if I could speak, presented by Toyota, is also brought to you by Vulcan Design and Construction, Henderson and Daughter Windows and Doors, George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, Battery Exchange, Maestro Dobel Tequila, your neighborhood restaurant group, Philbrook Law, 1-800-DIVORCE, Roto-Rooter, Illegal Mezcal, and Window Nation. We got Eric Collins at the bottom of the hour. Really excited to talk to Aaron Collins. In fact, I need to pull some audio as a rejoiner for him.
For the interview.
And
One
it's
of the
not,
great voices out there.
It's not maybe the audio you think I would pull for Eric Collins, who is the regular play-by-play man of the Charlotte Hornets, who's now doing playoff games for Prime. He called an NFL game and I thought he was delightful on the NFL broadcast.
Yes, he was.
So he did a Panther game since he's over there in Charlotte. He'll join us. We'll talk a little ball, not a lot of Blazer stuff with him, more just generalized NBA playoff. And
Well, we get his thoughts on his Hornets, too. Got a big win the other night. Are they actually going to go to the playoffs?
Yeah, now LaMelo's not going to get suspended. He only got fined, so we can get his thoughts.
Coward,
at
Adam
7:30.
Silver. You are such a coward.
I kind of agree with it. I don't want him suspended. Bam will be all
He
right.
took out their best player.
Bam's in Tuscany with Asia Wilson. He's
on
doing
purpose.
okay.
He
All right?
injured him on purpose.
And then at 8:30, we'll get a Spurs preview with Jason Minix, our good friend down in San Antonio, who's been covering and doing radio down in San Antonio forever. He'll join us coming up at 8:30. I want to start the second hour with a fairly obvious observation that just needs to be talked about, and it's a little perspective. Because yesterday we talked about the Blazers winning against Phoenix, Denny having the 41-12-7 game, his best game of the year, and it's the biggest game of the year for them.
Yep.
And now they've got a 7-2 matchup, San Antonio. And there's a lot of back and forth. It was great to hear from listeners after the show because sometimes some people will get in and they give you thoughts, and some people will disagree with our thoughts on this, that, or the other. And it was something that I was just going through, and I was looking at some of the stuff that Joe Cronin has done as the general manager because we graded him earlier this year. And I know after they win and they become the 7th seed, it's a lot easier to throw it in somebody's face of like if the grade wasn't good enough according to them. I will acknowledge there's a lot of things I've liked that Joe's done. There's also been things that I don't agree with. But what I will say is in this non-playoff play-in run up until this season, which to me is a disappointment, in the run, in the 5-year window, no matter the pick, the person, whoever it is, the 3, the 7, whoever, the one thing you probably said you wanted out of it was to what? Have an all-star, all-NBA level player. Was it not?
Absolutely.
Now, did you think that could be Scoot? Yes, you did. Did you think it could be Shaden? Absolutely you did. Donovan? Maybe. But you just wanted that if you didn't have Dame Lillard anymore.
You had to find something. You got to find a guy.
And so, at a bare minimum, it's worth noting that even if the build is not how we thought it would go in terms of who is leading it, to be able to get out of it and get back into the playoffs and say we have an all-NBA guy, because I think he is third team. We'll have to wait and see on that.
Yeah.
That was your goal. It may not be the player you ever thought it'd be. It may not have been the top 3 pick that you hoped it would be.
Yeah.
But the goal was to get an all-NBA guy. You've got one of those.
I mean, you got 2 ways to go about finding them. It's in the draft or via trade. We learned that again in the Jailblazer documentary. Not that it's a surprise, but you're not going to get free agents to come to Portland. And so you have 2 pathways to go do it. They were not able to do it through the draft, which I think most people thought in the moment when you're entering into a tanking era, how are you going to find that next guy? It's, well, you lose as many games as possible, you draft the guy, and that's how it turns out. And I don't know what the future holds for Scooter Shaden, but they certainly don't look like that guy. Doesn't mean they can't be good players or have lengthy NBA careers. They don't look like the kind of guy that's going to be a centerpiece of a team. So they had to find another way to go do it. And we can have criticisms of certain moves. There's no question about, for Joe Cronin, the best move that he made was the trade for Denny Avdia. Like, it's not even a debate. It's not even like, it's just... They fleeced him. I've seen a lot of this around NBA circles in the last 2 days, some from inside Washington, some from outside Washington, of like, oh my God, how did we let this guy go? That was such a bad trade. Why were we giving possessions to, Russell Westbrook or whoever it was at the time instead of allowing Denny to be the player that he was? And,
Dinwiddie and Westbrook, I saw that take
we're taking dribbles and possessions away from Denny Avdia. What were we doing? Like, we weren't going anywhere. We were a bad team anyways. And so, there's a lot of questions still for me in terms of, is he truly a one that can lead you to the highest peaks in the NBA? Yeah. And I'm curious to see. I think we're going to get a great glimpse of that against San Antonio because it's a much more difficult opponent. They're much better defensively. They have a rim protector. Like, it's just it's a harder challenge than playing the Phoenix Suns, who we all knew were not a very good team, especially in the back half of the year. But there's no question that he has elevated himself, and I've had this take since last year, that at a bare minimum, he's a number 2 on a very, very good basketball team. Can you ever go find a player better than him? That continues to be the elephant in the room. And can you pair him with somebody who is comparable to him to get over the hump? That's still $1 million question, but there's no doubt that Denny has elevated himself as an all-star, an all-NBA guy, and a guy that can carry a basketball team for stretches of a season, because he did it this year.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious because I was listening to a lot of stuff yesterday figuring Denny would be the topic of a lot of conversation, and he was. Paul Pierce was like, I'd never heard his name And I'm like,
Dude, what?
never heard his name. Like,
You get paid to talk about the NBA?
And he basically was like, well, you got to earn your name in this league. And I'm like,
shut up.
All right.
That's why you got canceled at Fox.
All right, P-double. And I heard, who was it? Lou, he had the two girlfriends.
I know. Lou Williams.
Lou Williams.
And Chandler Parsons, I saw that. Yeah.
Lemon Pepper Wing Schultz, you never forget.
That's right.
Lou Williams, I thought, had a really good thing of like people talking about the foul hunting and foul merchant stuff. And he's like, only elite players get those whistles. So people are mad. He's like, do you ever see a 6-point-a-game player get called a foul merchant? You don't.
No.
And I just, it was funny to watch a lot of the takeaways the day after he had the 41-point performance. And if he makes third-team All-NBA, because I assume if he makes it, that's what it will be. It will be third-team All-NBA.
Probably.
If he makes it, I kept asking myself, are superstars in the NBA, like, do we define superstar the way that we define quarterbacks? Are there 4 of them in the NFL, and then there's the next tier? Like, so Orem wrote an article about Denny, and he calls him superstar. And I saw that, and I was like, and I started thinking. And I didn't want to text Bill because sometimes I text Bill counter thoughts to his articles, and I think it annoys him. So I don't do that anymore. But I started thinking about it, and I was wondering, like, is Denny a Sam Darnold? Is Denny a Justin Herbert?
Yeah.
Or do we believe that Denny is a fill-in-the-blank premier quarterback? I know there's much more in the NBA than obviously there is starting quarterbacks.
Is he a Josh Allen or is he
Yeah, how do you separate superstar? Like,
Right.
if Denny makes third team this year, do we think Denny makes second team? Do we think Denny can be a first-team guy? Like, I'm really curious where people are because the ultimate goal was to get an All-NBA guy, and Joe accomplished that, to his credit.
Yes, he has.
I do think it's the biggest trade. I also think sneaky you could throw in there, getting the Suns to just throw in Tumani at the end of that trade
it's massive,
was brilliant.
Another
But
big win for him.
you've got that. Now, I'm curious on the superstar-star delineation, and then, like, how do you guys define it? Do you think he can make second team? Do you think he takes ever a step to be one of the 5 best in a season? So I started really wrapping my brain around the idea because I said I thought at best he could be a 3 on a title team. I think he could be a 2. I'm more than willing to tell you guys I'm wrong on stuff all the time. I will not hesitate on that. But I was more wondering how people are viewing the ascension of him, and then, like, how much higher is the ceiling? Well, I know we got Spurs series to talk about, and we'll get to that, but
well, I think that's the
just
perfect connection because this is, and it's back to a point you brought up earlier in the week. That's why I'm excited for this series.
But is this series really going to tell us?
Not completely, no.
I think we're super outmanned in this series.
I agree with you, and I gave the take that I don't think they're going to win more than, I hope I'm wrong. I don't think they're going to win more than one game in the series, and maybe they surprise, and if they do, go ahead and text in and call me an idiot.
Yeah.
But I do think it gives you more of a blueprint in terms of what he is and how he stacks up than a play-in game against Phoenix does, if that makes sense.
Yeah, facing a team of this caliber.
This is the level now that we're talking about when you're asking questions about the best 5 players in the NBA. I'm not asking you to win the series. I'm not asking you to sweep them or average, 30, 10, and 10 over the course of the next 6 to 7 games. Mm-hmm. But I'm asking you to look like one of the elite players on the floor. And I do think he has the capability of doing that. So I think we'll get a better picture of it after this series, depending on how he plays. And it doesn't mean if he struggles that you throw it out and say there's no chance he can ever do it. And it doesn't mean that if he plays great, that means next year he's guaranteed to be first-team All-NBA. It just gives us a better picture. And it's a position that he's never been in his career, especially now that he's ascending, to have this kind of opportunity. So I am incredibly excited to see how he plays. The tough part with taking the next step is there's undoubtedly having to be another step for him in terms of getting better. There also has to then be the follow-up question of, well, whose place is he taking in those conversations?
So there's a player I want to ask you, and I'll tell you who it is on the other side because we're against it. We got Eric Collins at 7:30. There's a player in the league that I think is a better two-way player that I'm wondering, like, is he this level or is he capable of being this level in terms of name recognition? And then the superstar star thing, do you guys separate that, or do you believe he is, at that definition, a superstar? How do you define those things, I think, in the NBA is always interesting to me. So we'll roll on with that. Coming up next, Eric Collins at the bottom of the hour, Dirt and Sprague on 105.1, the Fan Sports Network.
The new home.
Eric Collins going to join us at the bottom of the hour. Talking about old Turbo.
We need a new nickname, though.
I'm not
That's
a big
step
fan
number
of it.
one. Step number one is
not a big
coming up
fan.
with a better nickname than
I'm
Turbo.
not a big fan of Turbo.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm gonna make my argument. That's not a great
I
nickname.
will never get over how when I hear the nickname, I just will always hear a sarcastic bully voice to a dweeb in a movie. Like, okay,
Yeah.
Turbo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. That's my thing. That's fine. You can love Turbo as a nickname all you want. But we're talking about Denny and like how you separate superstar to star to third-team All-NBA. Does he take a step to second-team All-NBA? Do you ever see a world where he's a first-team All-NBA guy? Because you don't want to short him, right? Like, I did. And this year, he proved me incredibly wrong in a lot of ways. But he led them in a lot of categories. 24 points, 6.9 rebounds, so basically 7 rebounds a game.
Yeah.
And 6.7 assists, damn near 7. So almost a 24-7-7 season.
Great numbers.
I don't know how to quite put him into context other than to ask, like, at his absolute peak, are we looking at a guy who could be Jaylen Brown?
Be a great player.
Now, Jaylen Brown has accomplished far more. He's a 5-time All-Star, NBA champ, NBA Finals MVP, made the All-Rookie team, and he made All-NBA, and he's going to make All-NBA again. So he'll have a 2-time All-NBA on his resume. And what Boston did this year, it's a great environment, a great roster, but certainly nobody picked them to be the second seed in the East.
No, he carried them all season, and now Tatum's back, and we'll see what they do in the playoffs, but he was great all year.
And I think he should have real, like, top 3 MVP consideration.
Agreed completely.
Because nobody picked Boston to be the second seed, and he's a large reason why they are. And so I don't think Denny will ever maybe be the defender Jaylen Brown is. I'm more just asking, like, the general idea of what a star is in the league. Can he be that level? Not the finals MVP stuff, just the general idea of Jaylen Brown as a player.
I also have the hard part I have with this too is that I think the Jaylen Brown comp is really good. He's maybe a better all-around player. Maybe you could argue.
I agree.
Denny's has a little bit of a deeper bag or a little bit better offensively. I don't know I know Jaylen technically averaged more points per game. Some of that was who was in and who was out of the lineup. So maybe that's unfair to Jaylen Brown.
His 3-point percentage is a little better than Denny, but yeah,
Okay.
largely they play.
And I think of the world of
different
Jaylen
but
Brown.
similar
Like I made the argument when they were going on the runs that he was the best player on their team. He just never got the credit because Tatum was the dookie, and he would weirdly text Kobe before every game to a number that didn't exist anymore.
Right.
I also think part of me in this moment is trying to take a deep breath and not get caught in the moment,
Sure.
right? Like we're coming off of an incredible performance. He was awesome in Phoenix, and he is, you can't say sole reason because other guys made plays like Grant and Drew and all that, but he's 94% of the reason they won that game.
Yes.
And so we're in this moment right now where we're talking about it, and we might have a different picture a week from now or 2 weeks from now.